And the earth passed into the era called the Arc of Noe, from whence the word Noah is derived. And it happened that the race of the Ihins, the sacred people who were capable of spiritual life, had become almost completely extinct. In 4 out of 5 of the great divisions of the earth, Asia, America, Africa and Europe, there was not a single one of the Ihan race left alive. In the continent called Pan in the old tongue, but which we refer to as Atlantis, there was still a remnant, although they were scattered far and wide and in separate places, hiding away from their evil pursuers. The Magnans and humans committed incest and other evils in those days, so that they had offspring whose bodies became corrupt. Vermin inhabited them from the time of their birth to the time of their death, and they became rotten in the head with cataracts, their throats with ulcers and running sores, and in the lungs and joints with the poison of death. And their offspring that was born to them came forth afflicted with the sins of their fathers and mothers, to linger in misery or to die in infancy. And they thus peopled heaven with untimely births and with spirits of darkness, who in return would come back and re-afflict mortal people. The Ihins had kept the laws, but they were hemmed in from all sides, facing annihilation as a race. They were commanded to come forth from their hiding places, thousands and thousands of them, to go where none could pursue them and where none could or destroy them. They were told to build ships sufficient to accommodate them all and to take all food that is good to eat and gather it into the ships. For there was going to be a great flood which would last 150 days. For there was going to be a great flood which would last 150 days. And the high angels went to the Ihins and inspired them to build ships both in the valleys and on the mountains. For 2 whole years they were engaged in constructing them, and when they were completed they counted the ships. There were 138 of them, and the ships stood on the mountains and in valleys, nowhere near the waters. And they were commanded to go into the ships, and they went in. And in the same day the gates of heaven and earth were opened, and the earth rocked to and fro as a ship at sea, and the rains fell in torrents, and loud thundering came up from beneath the floor of the world. And the sea came up on the land, first upon the valleys and then upon the mountains, so that the ships floated on the waters. But the land was swallowed up, valleys and mountains, and all the living of Atlantis perished, save the Ihins who floated off in the ships. The number of those that were saved was 12,420, and these were all that remained of the first race of man that walked on 2 feet. These people would be carried to all the divisions of the earth and would populate it anew with the seed of those capable of everlasting spiritual life.